So clearly, the way the market is positioned, is particularly in stock markets, is that the head of the central bank is not going to surprise us with any comments about tapering. And that is actually quite a big risk, because if you look at the currency markets, the dollar has been gaining. And last week, for example, it looked like the dollar was supposed to start to trend and move substantially higher. So, and also if you look at the data, what's happening in the US, the unemployment rate is really low, inflation is high, core inflation is high as well. And so it's just a matter of time when they're going to raise tapering. And people think that tapering announcement is going to happen possibly in September. So obviously the market today, as I said in the beginning, they're positioned for nothing or anything like that. Maybe they think that they're going to comment on maybe the delta and that they need more time. But that's very risky strategy. What I would do, because stock markets are so high, is to book a bit of profit and book that profit. And then if we have a dip, one could potentially, for example, buy stock markets again. Well, what we can say clearly is that the market is assuming that he's not gonna scare us in any way, because if you look at something like the S&P and the Nasdaq 100, they're at very elevated levels. And also what's interesting is that it looks like economic growth is slowing over the next couple of months, because obviously we had a very high economic growth just on the back of reopening the world economy. But that high growth is not going to be there forever. So I would definitely book profits. And, in worst case, the market might be up a tiny bit. And you could always get back in come Monday morning, for example. But realistically, what I think is going to happen is that you will have a bit of a scare and then a bit of a correction in the market. That's my base assumption here. You have like initial jobless claims. They're looking to support the economy. I do understand they talk about, for example, in regards to inflation. Inflation will, of course, come down from elevated levels, but we're not that far away from, we were in the beginning of the pandemic. We have super high inflation. Like, I can't even remember the last time inflation was this high in the US, and I've been watching the markets for many, many years. So I think ultimately there is no question about it. Even the ECB are talking about recalibrating their asset purchases, and people think that might also come. Even the